First, I want to congratulate you on the great success of "You've Come a Long Way, Baby." It's a great album. Has this added any pressure to you for putting together the album that you're working on right now?
Yes. Well, yes and no. It's kind of. I'm trying to persuade myself it's a no-lose situation, because if it does as well or better, then that'll be great.
Right.
And if it doesn't, it kind of takes the heat off me a bit, because I never intended to be this successful. I was quite happy just doing dance music, and it has been a bit of a kind of mad whirlwind. So if the next album's stiffed, it would be quite nice, because then I'd get a bit more of my life back.
It would ease up on you a bit.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get going through my head, making the next one, rather than thinking, oh no, I have to do something better.
Does it come into your mind when you're creating the new songs that, this has to be a hit, or do you not think about it, you just go ahead and you just go with your vibe?
It kind of does sometimes. When it does, I tend to switch everything off and go down and watch telly. I think the best stuff always comes when you're just having fun. So if it stops being fun and starts being work, then I go downstairs and switch the telly on and switch off, which is why the next album's taking so long.
Lots of television.
I've done more telly watching than making tunes, but no, it'll come, but it has to be kind of fun, and because it's like if anyone said, right, sit down now and write a hit song, even if you're like Lennon and McCartney, if someone said, sit down and write that, the one that's going to be in everybody's top 100, you can't do it. It's always the one that started as a B-side or a lost album track or something that suddenly
It's a natural progression.
Well, I think it's something that hit records are never forced, If there was a blueprint, they would have invented a computer that did it by now, and they just go, right, okay, they want a bit of that, and you'd end up with, I don't know, Hootie and the Blowfish or something.
What led to your decision to release the new album, On the Floor at the Boutique? It's a remix album.
Well, it's just, mix albums are just something kind of that goes in parallel with what you do, as well as making records. I'm a DJ.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of dance music kind of works when, rather than people going out and buying tons of 12-inch singles, they just listen to their favourite DJ and say, right, I kind of like his choice. So we did that mix album as a kind of representation of what happened at the Big Beat Boutique, which is my home club in Brighton where I live. And it was just kind of like our favourites over a year. But it's a different thing, I'm having a bit of trouble trying to explain to Americans that it's like not a Fatboy Slim album, it's just other people's records mixed by me.
Right.
Which in England people kind of know the distinction, but over here you can imagine people in, kind of middle America going, hey, Fatboy Slim. And so we're trying to work out how to avoid them, buying it and then writing to us going like, it sounds like a load of other people's records just mixed together, which of course it is.
What was your decision process on picking the songs? How do you decide?
What, on the mix album?
Yeah.
They were just kind of like, they were the favourites from 3 years at the boutique that we could get permission to use.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of ones I would have liked to be on there, but because of politics and lawyers and stuff like that, we couldn't actually use. So out of the wish list of tunes that I'd like to be, it was the ones that we could license. It's supposed to be kind of like, the greatest nights at the boutique.
Right. Now I read that it was recorded in one night. Is that true?
It was, but it was a very long night. It wasn't done live. I can't lie and say it was me on 2 decks. No, I mean there was a little bit of computer jiggery pokery going on, but it was one night, but one very, very long night.
Gotcha.
There's a few overdubs.
I know there's an album out that's not sanctioned by you of remixes now.
Oh God, yeah.
How hard is it for you to control this stuff? And I mean, I'm sure something that makes you angry that it's out there.
Apparently, it's impossible because we did try and stop that one. To be honest, I wasn't too worried apart from the cover. It was just so horrible.
Right.
I mean, the actual track listing's all right, and obviously, because it was all remixes that I did. Obviously, hopefully, I'd like them all. So it's kind of a nice tribute, but no, I mean, we did try and stop that.
Right.
But unfortunately found out that we couldn't. And like I said, the only thing was, it's like the cover's this awful cartoon of this fat, it sucked, a big one.
Your early days in music were spent as part of the House Martins. What brought you out of the band and then into the dance scene and the big beat scene?
Well, I was always a DJ before I was in bands. So, and dance music was always my love, but I just kind of figured in those days white people didn't make dance music. But then with the invention of the sampler and that, it was like white people could make dance music without pretending to be black. And as soon as that situation kind of arose, then all of a sudden I didn't want to be stuck in a band that frankly I didn't really especially like the music, but it was a job.
Right.
But no, I mean I was always a DJ playing, you know, rap music and funk music and black music, and just got a chance to do it myself rather than being in a kind of suburban white pop band, which is I thought was my roots.
Do you ever see yourself returning to maybe a band format sometime in the future?
Never.
This is it.
You'd have to kill me first. No, I just can't deal with musicians. And also it's just recognising your strengths. I've played guitar in bands, I've played bass in bands, and I'm not very good at either of them. But I figure I'm a better DJ than I am a musician, so I'll stick to that.
Cool. What do you think is the most offensive thing about pop music today?
The most offensive thing? The most offensive thing is when you get like hardcore underground black artists who make music and then people like me hear it and like it and want to do our spin on it and do that, and then everyone says to us, oh yeah, that's really good. And you're going, yeah, but it was kind of copied off something else that we really like. And then other people go, hey, you're just ripping off black music. And the worst thing is racism. That you know, it's always the Beatles and the Rolling Stones who sold R&B music back to America.
Right.
And it's people like me and the Chemical Brothers selling, you know, black urban music back to America. And you know, we wish that the original people could get, you know, the props for it. Unfortunately, it's the good-looking white boy bands like me who end up getting all the credit for it.
So you would wish that people would discover where the sources are and kind of
or just
themselves?
For people like that to make a living. You know, I did these gigs with Armand van Helden, who in England is kind of seen as a god and a genius, and he can't even get a regular gig in America. And people like Roger Sanchez and, you know, tons of especially house music, the pioneers, like, have to come to Europe to make a living, the same way that Jimi Hendrix came over to Europe, or the Stray Cats even. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit weird that Americans don't realise what they've got on their own doorstep until we come and sell it back to them at an inflated price.
That's a great point. We took a couple of questions from fans off the internet, so I just wanted to run a couple of these by you. This is from T. Atwood in Georgia. There's so much.
What's up, T? Sorry.
There's so much musical equipment available today. What would you recommend a techno wannabe start off with?
Well, I still use what I started off with, which is an Atari, really old, grey thing. Atari 1040 and Akai S950, which you could probably pick up for like $300. And just about all what I do is just one S950 and the Atari. So with that, you could pretty much do everything.
Start rolling.
Yeah, we'll start, finish, do the middle bit, everything.
Cool.
Nice question, T.
Jennifer Hollett from Canada. Rumor has it that there is a Praise You documentary in the works. Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah, Richard Coffey from the Torrance Community Dance Project is making a video of the making of the video and the behind-the-scenes look at their impressive and seminal performance at the MTV Awards, which is being put together by Spike Jonze and Roman Coppola. Quite when they'll finish it, I don't know. But no, they're definitely, they are kind of making a sort of behind-the-scenes making of the video, which I think is quite funny because the video itself was kind of behind the scenes making of the video.
Any plans to work with them again or no?
I'd love to, yeah. No,
cool.
I'd love to.
Cool. Creighton Burson from New Orleans. 2 questions. Where do you find your inspiration, and can I have some?
Yes and no.
Okay.
And do one more because I've really got to go
Okay,
on stage
all
in
right,
about
well,
5 minutes. Sorry.
What's next after this brief stint in the States?
I'm going on holiday, and then hopefully when I'm chilled out, I'll get really
back.
into the studio and do the next album. No, just doing the album. I'm not going to do anything apart from Glastonbury. I'm not doing any other shows. No, just write and do the next album.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks for having us.
And look forward to hearing the new album.
Cool. I'm on.